All right, so this is our Humanities 8 overview, putting it in video form because of the strange circumstances of whether we'll be on campus or not. And so anyway, it's easy to share this. And the subtitle of the course is The Perpetual Journey of American Freedom, and we'll explain that as we go. So welcome. So our learning goals for the year: why and how to learn and not merely to score. We'll make that distinction here in a bit. How to write and present, both formally and informally. America's place in history, its virtues, vices, challenges, and opportunities. We'll study literature towards self-understanding and cultural understanding. We'll expand vocabulary in a number of ways. We'll commit to memory extraordinary passages of rhetoric, and we'll learn how to thrive and succeed. So let's go over those in more detail. So how and why to learn. We're going to understand learning as improved doing. It's not just getting an A on an assessment and then forgetting it. It's not cramming stuff in short-term memory and forgetting it. That's not learning. That's just scoring. And we want you to learn well and score well. So we want you to learn something well enough that you can do something better as you leave the course and go out into the world. Learning as encoding, storing, and recalling. All three of those as essential parts. It's got to come in, it's got to get stored, and it's got to get recalled into working memory so it can be used. And then learning is essential to thriving. So how does learning play into living a life that you're thrilled to live and that you want to get out of bed every day and enjoy your life? So writing will be a big part of the class. We'll spend a lot of time on analytic paragraphs, on persuasive paragraphs, reflective journal writing, personal growth narratives, and grammar, both the Bedford Handbook and IXL software programs. We'll study America's place in history with a focus on the Constitution and then American history from uh, Reconstruction to the present. How is America's founding exceptional? What are the promises of America's founding? In what ways has America betrayed the promises of its founding? How can American history be understood as the gradual expansion of who is covered by the promises of the founding? In what ways are the promises of the founding being betrayed still today? How might we work to best extend the promises to everyone? Those we will talk about those questions a lot. Literature, we're going to read To Kill a Mockingbird, Inherit the Wind, Animal Farm, Lord of the Flies, and we'll do a unit on poetry. Robert Frost and Walt Whitman. We'll probably read some short stories in there as well. There might be some other things we read, but we'll definitely do units on those. And the goal will be to help those works understand who we are and how our society works and what we've got to do. Vocabulary will do the basic, learning important words and SAT words and ACT words. Sadly, or Oxford vocabulary, which is good. We'll learn character and leadership vocabulary for St. Mark's, and we'll use IXL as well to get at roots and things like that to help build vocabulary generally. We'll memorize and retain extraordinary rhetoric, passages from essential political documents, speeches, literature, and poetry. So you're going to actually commit to memory a good bit of extraordinary rhetoric to have it at your command so that you can have it in your mind and understand the world with it and bring it out at the right times to help you make points and actually care about it. I know this is going to be a fight. I know you're not going to want to do this, but we're going to do it anyway. We'll study character and leadership. We'll work on the head, the understanding, build a conceptual vocabulary, and work on mindfulness. We'll work on your hearts, your virtues, habits, and attitudes to really help you thrive, and hands to care for yourself and to care for your classmates as part of the class structure. So the commitments in the class, we will be mindful that being an eighth grade boy is challenging. We will be mindful that living amidst the pandemic is challenging. We'll be mindful that distance learning is challenging. We will insist that boys try to learn and not merely manage their grades. We'll insist that boys support everyone in the class. We'll maximize effective use of class time toward minimizing homework. So class time's not just going to be a bunch of discussion where kids lose their focus and stare out the window and vaguely take notes. We're going to actually try to get as much work done as possible in class so that when the boys go home, they can be with their families and have a little break and do sports or whatever they want to do at home. Obviously, that won't always eliminate homework. Some boys work faster than others, but we're going to try to minimize homework, maximize class time use. Scoring. So each point earned will just is worth a point. A point is a point is a point in the year. There's no weighting, but roughly by the end of the year, writing and presentations, both formal and informal, will have a target of about 30% of the grade. About 30% of the points will come from quizzes, more or less, 20% from tests, and 20% for class leadership. So, class leadership expectations, whether we're at school or at home and doing remote or some sort of hybrid, these expectations will be the same. You show up prepared for class, have all your materials, do your homework, show up ready to go. That is an important part of class leadership. If you don't do that, then it's not clear what else you think would be a good thing to be doing in class. We want you to try to help other students to learn, never mock or undermine another student. And that's a tough thing for eighth grade boys to do, but we're going to break you of that habit. You're not going to mock other kids. You're going to help other kids in our class. Focus on the issues and tasks at hand during class. Take notes, help the class consolidate those notes. That's a great way to lead in class, very doable. Use technology to learn, not to play during class time. Again, we're going to try to make effective use of class time so you don't have as much homework. You want to play video games, play them at home. Turn in work on time. If you fall behind, communicate with your teacher. Don't hide. Take action to solve the problem. If something is bothering you, whatever it is, don't let it fester. Communicate and solve the problem. Come to the teacher, go to a student, whatever you need to do. Don't hide. Don't let it fester. If you've got an issue, let's fix it. Take leadership and fix it. So, final advice: learn, and the grades will follow. Use assessments as tools for learning. Don't use learning as a tool for assessments. It works so much better if you actually try to learn. Focus and get your work done during class. Don't think class is a time to daydream and you'll get your work done at home. Get your work done in class. You're going to have lots of time in class to get your work done. Make good use of that time. It'll help so much. Contact me with any question or concern. There's my email address. There's my school phone number, and that should kick right into my email if you leave a voicemail. So I look forward to the year, and I hope this has been helpful to give you a sense of what we're going to do.